Hey guys, it's Kim, aka Spartan Stitcher on Instagram, back again with another monthly stitching video. Today is the 2nd of November, 2024. This is Flosstube 142. I had a pretty good stitching October, although a lot of it was, I had 3 new starts, put it that way. 3 new starts, and I worked on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. And one of them was also bringing a UFO back into rotation. So we will start off with the one that is getting so close to a finish. Friends Forever by Ian Stokes, Retired HAED. Again, I'm working on this corner, 5 full pages and 3 partials. I already have 1 partial done to get it done by the end of the year. 42,000 stitches, doing 3,500 stitches a month. So I did 35-25 for October. I have 14 colors remaining and 6,700 roughly stitches left. So you don't want to see it upside down. Let's hold it the right way. So there you go. Yesterday I did work on it, but I only put in like 150 stitches. So, and that's, I'm working up in the gray up here. So there is your progress for October. I can actually, like when I go back and look at my monthly pictures, I can see the brickwork, but now it like jumps out at me. You can obviously see there's bricks here, there's bricks up here, and then this is part of her little cloak thing that's on the ground. And then this is her red cloak with the little purple and gold edge. So, yeah, 14 colors remaining. A lot of people, when I post this, they're like, man, I couldn't just let it wait. I'd, go ahead and stitch the rest of it. I know Jessie Marie just finished her Focus on a Finished piece for this year, because she just went ahead and finished it. And I don't know. I like the discipline. I'm gonna stick with it and only do 3,500 stitches or so. Obviously, it's gonna be less than that because I only have 6,700 left. But I'm definitely gonna finish this in December. I'm not gonna go gangbusters and finish it in November. So there, where it's ending in October, we will keep working on that. Then I did my little October Greyhound from a Greyhound year. Again, I'm stitching these on 2 different pieces of fabric to cut them apart, not doing the framework so I could display them individually. I did leave out the spider since I didn't have the framework for him to make his web on. So there he is. You have the little Greyhound dressed up as either a dinosaur or alligator, whatever you want him to be. And then you got some ghosts, some bats, and his little pumpkin bucket. So second half of the year, that's what we got. And then I'll show this again. November, we have a Greyhound with a little turkey. So we have a Pilgrim Greyhound, little brindle, with a turkey. So that's what I'm going to be working on this month. I was looking when I was counting my stitch count for the month and the year. I was really surprised. There's been over 8,000 stitches on that Greyhound piece this year already. So more, I mean, you'll get more numbers when I do my whip parade, but I thought that was interesting. So then I had 1 day before the Full Coverage Fanatics monthly event started, so I pulled out a UFO that I have not worked on since 2021. This is Big Red Ship of Life by Ink Circles. So this is the piece that I was working on in North Dakota to get it done, start to finish, to have that piece represent our time in North Dakota. That got cut short, things happened, so I put it away. And I had not worked on it since like April or May of 2021. So this is also one where I started it the wrong orientation. but I do have enough space. I'll just need to put some fabric at the bottom to finish it up. I started the wrong orientation and then had too much border. So this is is it MCG Textiles? Is that it? Their fabric, so it's 28 count. I'm doing it 1/1 with DMC 3808. So I only worked on it the one day and I put in 323 stitches. So you see how I have some park threads down here. I had them all the way over here as well. So I stitched in those park threads and I did like 1 or 2 more lengths. So there's the whole piece so far. It's got 16 pages, so I've got 10 done. Working on page 11. Let me get closer here. So we're getting into the ship, the lower part of the, like, that line down at the bottom is the ship's deck. So here you see the stern of the ship. And this, that's the horse's head. So after I stitched in the park threads, I kept going on the horse's head. So, and I have my little Scandinavian horse there because my ex's family and now my girls are Scandinavian. So there we go. I don't know when or how much I'll keep working on this, but it is no longer in timeout. So it'll come out sporadically. I haven't decided yet if I want to focus on finishing Templar Prophecy first or this one. Big Red Ship is technically older, but you know, it's also been in timeout for a while. And that's of course once the 4 Seasons Stitch Along is done. So we'll see, but it's no longer in timeout, so you'll see more of it. So that is Big Red Ship of Life. Worked on it one day. And then was the amazingly atypical event in Full Coverage Fanatics where we wanted you to work on a piece that is not an electronic chart. Not something you can work on Pattern Keeper or Markup RXP or whatever, anything. We want it on paper, whether it's a kit, Dimensions, Mill Hill, something out of a magazine, atypical full coverage design. So I started Mill Hill Buttons and Beads Winter Stag. I worked on it that whole week, so 7 days. And then at the end of the month, I worked on it 2 additional days. So it's got 9 days progress. And I did have a counting error. So when I first started this, you know, obviously marked the center. And the color I picked to start it was this light blue that's like an outline around the stag, and then it also is this, you can see it down here, this line that goes all the way around. So I did the entire outline of the stag, I did the outer border, and then I was starting to put in these dark brown stitches, and I realized I had made a mistake. I had made a mistake somewhere in this antler, which made the whole piece 1 stitch too wide. So I had to frog out over 340 stitches, re-stitch them, and then start filling in the, you know, finish the dark brown border, started finishing in the stag. I have all the stitching done except for this blue that's in the background. So I just need to fill all this in, leaving some spaces for the beads that go in the background. And then I can start beading. And there are snowflakes that are backstitched in with white. So, most of him is done, and I will be pushing to finish him maybe this month, but definitely this year he will be a finish. So a small full coverage finish for this guy. So I put in 3,005. Well, that doesn't count the ones that I did at the end, I don't believe. 3,515. Let me flip back here. I guess it does. Yeah, 3,515 stitches so far. So we'll keep going with him. And then after that, I had a lot of fun with that. And I was feeling the fall, you know, so I started another pattern. This is, excuse me, I have to pull up the mock-up in Dropbox instead of just the pattern. So Soda Stitch patterns do load really well into Pattern Keeper. Obviously it doesn't have any of the back stitch, but the piece I have only has very minimal back stitch. But Soda Stitch, at least the two patterns of hers that I have, when you download the pattern, it comes in different files. So you have the cover page, you have the chart in black and white, and then you have the chart in color symbols. And then another one of the whole chart just on one page. So if you just want one page and then blow it up with your color symbols, you can do that too. So this is the piece that I started. It does not look like your typical Soda Stitch pattern. It's called Leaves Collector. And it's these really cute fall gnomies. Or Nissa, I think they're called in Norwegian. So I started with a guy in the center. Worked on him 4 days to get him completely done. It's 2,295 stitches. This is on 28 count Lugana in Oaken by Picture This Plus. And oh my god, guys, look at him. He is adorable. My oldest daughter was seeing me stitch this, and she said, you know, she's like, she was dying with the cuteness, right? And I said, I have some Christmas gnomes too. So I showed her that Soda Stitch pattern. And she said, I need to get them for every season, every holiday, you know, all the gnomies. So super cute. I do want to keep working on him. So he'll probably, not him, but this chart. So he will probably gain some other leaves that are floating around and the start of another friend here in November. So that is Leaves Collector by Soda Stitch. And then for quarter 4, the Stitch of the Seasons in Full Coverage Fanatics, I am working on Trick or Treat by Randall Spangler. And of course, you know, right in time for the season, since we just finished with Halloween. So I have the partial row done, I have the page above it done, I have all the black on the chart done, and I was working on the first page on the next row up. I wanted in these 3 months to get 2 pages done. And so I worked on it for a week, and then I was working on the other stuff, and then at the end of the month I worked on it a few more days, and I got the first page done. Excuse me. So 436 tent stitches, because I already had the black done on the page. I am not taking this out of the frame because I'm going to keep working on it. Sorry for all the parked threads. Try to make it so you can see this. Okay. There's what you can see right now with it still in the frame. And that is what I stitched. Now, I couldn't tell until I had finished, like just about finished the page. Can you see the cobweb that's on the fence? I can clearly see it here on camera. And then right here, I thought, is that the start of the house? It seems a little early. No, that's a tombstone. There's a couple of like tombstone gravestones in the front yard of this house. So that is one of the tombstones. So I will keep going with this one and get a start on this next page. One person on Facebook said this looks like the little Monopoly guy. The little boy that's trick-or-treating, which I can see that. So we'll keep going with this one. So that is Trick or Treat. And then my other Focus on the Finish for the year, Four Seasons Stitch Along by Modern Folk Embroidery from 2018. Excuse me. I am not doing this bottom border. I am taking this top border and flipping it upside down and stitching it on the bottom. So, I did 978 stitches to get half of that border done. And we will finish this piece in November. So there you go. That's all I did was this little border right here. So 978 done. I've got 983 stitches remaining. And then the piece will be done. And so next time I see you on the 1st of December, you'll be able to see the entire piece finished. This is 28 count Monaco that I Rit dyed, stitching with Ecru Floss. And I forgot to say, but Trick or Treat is on 25 count easy count. So there we go. We'll get at least one finish in November. And then I had another new start, my third new start on Halloween after trick-or-treating. It was a Halloween piece. I had to start it on Halloween, right? Let me switch back to Pattern Keeper. And I showed you this, I think, last month. They call this Halloween. I call it Stained Glass Pumpkin. Etsy shop is Sharova Creations. And I told you guys that I was going to stitch all the black first because there's over 42,000 stitches of black. So I started this on Halloween. I worked on it. Obviously didn't get a lot done because I was tired. And then I was also tired yesterday. But I have put in 675 black stitches so far. So just again, there's all the black on the piece. You can see the little corner that I've done, 675 stitches. I decided this morning it's going to be fun. I'm going to stitch this piece extreme cross country, the whole thing, not just the black. We're going to go down the list, most used color to least used color. And the least used color is actually white with 32 stitches. So there's not a whole lot of confetti in this piece because there's only 2 colors with less than 100 stitches. Everything else has over 100. So I don't know how long this piece is going to take, but we're going to see it grow extreme cross country, the entire thing. So 42,000 stitches of black first. You can see the other colors on the least used side. So after 42,000 of black, we're looking at 8,400 stitches of 939 will be next, you know, in a year or two, couple years. Let me show you. In this one, I had most of a yard of 32 count easy count from Ann P of Fiber Floss and Fiction podcast. I don't know why she originally bought it, but she had cut out a small piece and decided she wasn't going to use the rest. It is really tiny. And so she had sent it to me a while ago, and I said, hey, it's time to figure this out, see if I can stitch on 32 count, easy count. So I am still doing 2/1, my normal continental tent stitch. So there you go. Working it on the Q-snap because the whole piece of fabric is 400 by 400. It fits with a 3-inch border, 18.5 inches. So just working on the Q-snap for now. It might get a little tedious once I have to move around a lot to do the extreme cross country. But those of you who might want to see my back, this is what cross country or continental tent stitch. It gives you, yes, it does use more floss, but I have one of the large cones of black, so I really don't care. And I do continental so that I have more room to stick my needle under the stitches to secure thread ends. So there's my back versus my front. And it's going to be pretty solid. You can see that 32 count has really good coverage with DMC 310. Like you can't see hardly any, I'll get super close. Can't see hardly any show through. So if that's really important to you, even though, you know, when the piece is done, people are going to be back here. They're not going to be able to tell if there's any show through. So 32 count, easy count. I can do it so far. I should probably start more pieces on the 32 count to use it now when I'm younger versus when my eyes get older. But so that is my third new start of the month. Okay, let's talk about November plans. It's pretty much a whole bunch of things that you already saw. Friends Forever, Trick or Treat, 4 Seasons Sal for that finish. I might work on Winter Stag to get that done. The monthly event in Full Coverage Fanatics for this month is Inspiring Ideas, a piece that someone in Full Coverage Fanatics inspired you to start. Or, you know, however you want to tell that story. Well, a lot of people like Randall Spangler, right? So I am using for this event Sunday Delight by Randall Spangler. So I need to get one more page done for my goal this year, so it will be my finish for next year. I'm going to hold this so my park threads stay out of the way. So that is the top right there. So there's my starting point. I was looking at what page I'm going to do, and I have decided I am going to do the page with the cherry jar. Excuse me, because there is almost 1,900 stitches of DMC 349 in that jar, because if you look at the label for cherries, there's, you know, it's a lot of solid red. So like I said, 1,900 stitches of one color in there. Plus we get to finish off the Dragling's head, right? So theoretically there's not that many confetti stitches, but we'll see. So I'll stitch in all the park threads, and then I will do those 1,900 stitches of one color to act as a good foundation for the page to work off of for the rest of the colors. And get that page done here in November. And that will leave me with these 4 pages to do in 2025 for the finish. And then my other idea. If you follow me, if you looked at my community post here on YouTube, or if you follow me on Instagram, I did propose something. So for any of you that like to stitch on Easy Count, this gridded fabric, whenever you cut, like if you buy a yard or half a yard or whatever, and you cut the size you need for a larger design, sometimes you end up with long skinny pieces, right? This one's like 7 inches long and 36. So from my fingertip to the point of my shoulder, I know is 36 inches. So this is 36 inches by about 7 inches across. And this is 25 count, Easy Count. So I'm like, I can't throw this away. What am I going to use it for? And it's good gridded fabric, right? Well, you already know I like Randall Spangler. I already showed you 2 of his designs today. So my proposal is, let's use up these skinny pieces of fabric and let's stitch Randall Spangler's books. I actually have several pieces of fabric like that. So Randall Spangler has a dragon bookshelf, a cat bookshelf, and a dog bookshelf. I saved some pictures off his website, so because the resolution was slightly better. So these are just screenshots off his website. So the dragon bookshelf is called Books of Dreams on the HAED website. So there you go, 13 different books. They all have clever titles that are punny, if you will. And then, let me show you the cat bookshelf. Cat bookshelf, same idea. All punny and regarding cats. And then the dog bookshelf, you have Harry Potter. So, I think it's really cute. So my proposal is stitch a book. So you can either buy, there's 3 sizes. You can buy these in Story Keep on the HAED website. You can buy the regular size chart of the whole thing, or you can buy the super size regular colors of the whole thing. I bought the super size Books of Dreams, so all the dragons. And let me show you on Pattern Keeper the mock-up. So when HAED charted them, she charted them with empty columns. So each book is separated from each other. You do not have to guess as to where one book stops and the next book starts. It kind of looks like on the dog and the cat bookshelf, like instead of white, it's actually black there. Whatever. It's still easily, like I don't have those patterns, but from the mock-up, it looks like they're black stitches. So they're not all exactly the same. On the dragons, they vary from between 81 and 85 stitches wide, and it's let me see, 475 stitches high. So on 25 count, that's 19 stitches high, and then you're basically stitching a page, the width of a HAED page, all the way down. So one of the books would easily fit on this piece with room to spare for me to do some other small piece. So I propose, in my post I said hashtag Spangler Book Sal, but I like Nikki's suggestion better. Nikki from Nikki Crafts, she said Spangler Book Club Sal, because book club, it's cute. So go look and see if you want to join. See if you have. It doesn't have to be gridded. Any spare, piece of fabric that you can stitch a full coverage piece on, that's long and skinny that you were wondering what the hell you were going to do with it. And then see if you're interested in any of those dragons and cats. I will say that in the Story Keep, in the regular version of those charts, you might not be able to see the book title clearly. And that's why I chose the super size. So super size, it's normal colors, again, between, let's say 85 stitches wide by 475 high. It's not outrageous. And you don't have to stitch the whole thing. You can stitch one bookshelf. If you have several pieces, you can stitch, or one book. And if you have several pieces, you can pick a couple books. You don't have to pick stitch the entire chart. So I am going to propose the Spangler Book Club Sal, and I'm going to plan on starting on the last day of November. So then when I come and see you on the 1st of December for my next update, I will have another start. Okay, so that's November plans. Let's talk about stitch counts. For October, my full coverage, tent stitches only. Tent stitches only. So my winter stag, even though he's full coverage, is not included in this because he's full cross. So tent stitches only, it was my second to lowest month of the year. 9,161 tent stitches. For non-full coverage, because I had the Greyhound, Big Red Ship, Winter Stag, Leaves Collector, and 4 seasons, so 5 whips going into my full cross count for the month, 7,895 stitches. Year to date, tent stitches on my full coverage, 180,120 stitches. Non-full coverage, full cross, we're at 40,127. So, doing well there. And then, I did not pull up. The 2025 HAED Stitch Along has gone live. Now, when the 2024 Stitch Along came out, I was not tempted by any of the designs. So, I really had no interest in doing the 2024. But, let me get to the picture. As this year's gone on, and I've watched other people who are doing the 2024 Stitch Along, especially the mushroom ones. So the Amy Stewart, whether it was, there were several different of her mushroom designs. The more I saw them, the more I became attracted to them. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll, consider the 2025 stitch along. So I was paying attention to all the posts that they were, you know, teasing the designs, and they finally put the pictures up on Halloween, and now it is live. So they have changed the rules a little bit. It is $15 instead of $10. You get one chart. If you stitch 6 pages instead of 4 during the year, then you can get all 12 of the stitch along designs at the end of the year. If you finish the chart, excuse me, then instead of 2 free charts, you get 1 free chart with all the design SAL designs. But they're all bigger than they were. So this past year they were around 60,000. This year they're all 85,000 except for one that's 90,000. So you know I really like my goals. I've already set up my long-term goals through 2030. Okay. Once I saw that you had to stitch 6 pages to get all the rest of them, I'm like, I'm not doing it. My big push, even though I'm finishing Sunday Delight next year, my big push is to get 46,000 stitches into Kindred Spirits by Jody Bergsma. I'm not going to do 6 pages worth because that's even more. So, but I still want to participate. I still, you know, have FOMO. I want to be part of the community doing the stitch along. Then the other difference this year is depending on the number of people who participate, there are some free charts. I really like the first free chart because it's a dragon wearing safety glasses. And yesterday was the first day the pattern went live, and we're already 60% of the way there to the first participant reward level. So I know we're going to get there. We're going to get at least the 1,000 participant chart. Anyways, if you haven't seen it, I have shared this link in Full Coverage Fanatics for anyone who's not in the official HAED Facebook group. But here's the 12 designs. I can't really show them all. Some of them are AI, but others are not. So if you go to Full Coverage Fanatics or the link on the HAED Facebook group, they have it in their featured posts. You can click on it, go to that page on the HAED website, and if you just try to go to the HAED website and find it, it's hard. I haven't been able to find it that way. I've only been able to get to it with the link. So you go to it, you can see the design, like the art blown up for each one. You can see the mock-up, and you can see the floss usage before buying it. So $15, and I'm going to say you're pretty much guaranteed at least 2 charts. The chart you choose and the 1,000 participants. So I asked last year, or I asked how many participants they had last year, and they had 1,100 participants, but the chart was only, like the SAL was only available for purchase for 2 weeks, versus this year is open from 1 November through 13 December. So a lot longer window for people to buy it, so I think there will be more people participating. So if you go to that link, you'll be able to see all 12 of the SAL charts. You'll be able to see all 4 participating rewards charts. They do not have mock-ups for those. I don't care. So yeah, consider participating. There will be you have to be on Facebook. You have to be on Facebook, because once you make your order, you don't select as you're making your order what one you want. Then you have to go back into that listing, click the link for the Facebook group, request to join, put in your order number and your name. And once you're selected, which I have not been yet, I think once you're in the Facebook group, there is a way to fill out a survey as to what chart you would like. So if you're interested in doing that. So I'm going to start it next year. I don't know how many pages I'm going to aim for, because you guys know I like my goals on my other pieces. So that is my haul. Is I bought the Spangler Books of Dreams supersize, and I bought the stitch along. Real life update. Halloween went really well. So last year Halloween, it actually snowed. We got like 1.5 inches of snow on Halloween, and so we're trick-or-treating. It was that really wet, melting, slushy type snow. This year was 66 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 19 degrees Celsius. It was windy, but it was gorgeous weather to go trick-or-treating, especially if you're used to Michigan Halloween. So it was really nice. I was disappointed in my girls because we did like the 3 main blocks, so 3 streets here in our neighborhood, 45 minutes, and they were done. They were tired. I'm like, what are you talking about? We're supposed to be going like for hours. But 45 minutes, they were done. They were ready to come home. My youngest helped me pass out candy for the rest of the time. I had, so my parents were here at my house passing out candy while we were out. And then once we were done, they left and I continued passing out candy. I had 91 kids stop by the house. So that is an increase from last year. Previous weekend, my parents and I did a project. So my dining table and 6 chairs were bought used from the owner of the previous barn that Spencer was at. She'd been trying to sell it, couldn't sell it on Facebook Marketplace. And so, you know, a year ago when we were moving in, she said, you can have the use of it and either buy it from me later or sell it when you're ready to buy your own, and give her the money. She was only asking $100. It was a really nice set of you know, table and chairs. The only thing wrong was the seat bottoms on the chairs were upholstered in cheetah print fabric. I put up with it for a year. Once I moved Spencer, you know, I had contributed like $100 towards a stall fan, like a heavy duty stall fan, that I thought should be barn equipment. And so I said, instead of me taking this fan, consider that $100 for the dining set. So it was now officially mine, which means time to get rid of the cheetah print. So went to Joann Fabrics, got a really nice tweed that would go with my carpet. So, you know, colors of tans and grays, tweed, like nice neutral. And my parents and I and my oldest took both days last weekend because we had to have a break for our hands. It's a lot of work to take out staples. So not only was the cheetah print fabric stapled on with an outrageous amount of staples, but there was also a piping around the bottom edge that was stapled on separately, and then the dust cover. So it was a lot of work prying with a screwdriver to loosen staples and then pulling them up with pliers. I still have, you know, I skinned my knuckles a few times and I'm still healing from that. It took over 7 hours to do 6 chairs, but they look amazing. So really happy about that. That was, you know, a little DIY project. And then earlier in October, my girls and I went up north to Gaylord, Michigan. Well, we started in Gaylord. Met up with a friend who is actually from my hometown, but I met her through the Air Force and through horses down in Louisiana. And her husband's family owns a family farm up in Gaylord. His parents have since passed, so they are, you know, in the process of divvying up the property between all the kids. But the farmhouse is like 115 years old, and my friend and her husband are going to get the piece of property with the farmhouse and some of the barns. So we went up there. She wanted my help to try to figure out where she should build a horse barn because the 2 barns that are there are not suitable. They're old and starting to fall down. And then we drove up to the Boyne Mountain area, if you're from Michigan. So it's a big ski resort, but we're talking the beginning of October. So we're fall colors. We went up there pretty much to see fall colors, and they have in between 2 areas of their mountains there a suspension pedestrian bridge. So it's like across the valley. It's like the longest pedestrian suspension bridge, I believe, in the country. I don't know. Unfortunately, the fall colors were not at their peak yet, but it was still really fun to go up there, see some mountains, which are nowhere near actual mountains you know, when you go see the Appalachians or Rocky Mountains. But it was fun to get up there, spend time with my friend who hasn't seen the girls since my youngest was an infant. She's 9 now. So spent time with them, and then we also drove up to Charlevoix and walked their piers a little bit. Got to see the drawbridge go up. It was super windy, so we were worried that the sky bridge was going to close for wind, but we got up there. So, you know, you're riding the chairlifts for the ski mountain to get up there, and that was fun. It was a good day. It was a lot of driving because it's a 2-hour drive to get up there, but and then 2 hours to get back, but we had fun. Anyways, that's enough rambling. I hope everybody has a good stitching November. If you are going to be participating in either the Randall Spangler book club or the Spangler book club sal or the HAED sal, comment below. I want to know kind of what you're thinking about, what you're interested in doing. And we will see you guys come the 1st of December with the start of my book. I haven't decided which book I'm going to do yet. It's going to be one of the ones where the title is about dragons. So whether it's dragons in medieval history or there's something about how to care. Yeah, there's a couple of them that are actually dealing with dragons in the title. So I'm going to probably do one of those 2 first. But like I said, I have fabric to do several. So anyways, I hope you guys have a good stitching November and a good Thanksgiving for those in the U.S. And I will see you come the 1st of December. Bye, guys.